And I am the technical marketing manager here at Adobe, so I work closely with not only the marketing team, but the product team, the engineering team as well. And I'm really excited to talk to you today about the Performance Monitoring Toolset. This is a fantastic tool that was just released earlier this year, and we've only had a couple of months to talk about it, and this is like probably the largest group that I'm telling about it. So I'm excited to tell you all of the things that it can do for you. For those of you that are familiar with Cold Fusion or do Cold Fusion development or sysadmin already, how many of you were using the CF monitor at some time, the one that was already included with the product? Okay, so this is not that. Please don't think that this is that monitor. This is rebuilt from the ground up. Our team did a fantastic job. We've got some of our engineering team in here today that actually worked on the product. So if you have any really technical questions, we can also probably get those answered for you after the session. But I think the one thing that I wanted to talk about today is, as I go over the agenda, what is the importance of performance first of all? And like, why do we spend so much time on this? It's such a very, very important thing for everyone. So I'll go over that first. But really the whole way that I set up this presentation is to talk about the different roles that are involved in performance tuning. This tool was not just built for system administrators, and I think I really want to press that point across, because we thought about all of the different roles, including developers, and how you might use this tool to better your applications and really make them go as fast as possible. In addition to that, we thought about the IT managers. How many of you are actually IT managers that get on the line with our support reps, and you have to answer up to the executive team when your business critical application is down? You need to pass that information back and forth, and the information that you need to gather is in this tool. So we built it for IT managers as well, as of course as the system administrators too. So I'll talk about all those roles, and then hopefully I'll have enough time to go over the tool set and I'll really give you a look at all the different capabilities of them. So when we talk about performance, performance is the #1 metric for everyone. And 47% of consumers expect web pages to load in 2 seconds or less. Now many of you might be thinking, well, most of my Cold Fusion applications are internal applications, right? But I'll talk to you about that today. It matters. It really matters how fast those applications run too. And I think the most important part of that is, if you have an application that's performing poorly, I think that reflects on the technology, of course. So if you haven't updated a legacy application from Cold Fusion for performance in 20 years, a lot has changed, right? I mean, you saw in the keynote, we've made enormous improvements in just the runtime engine alone. But also some of those improvements have to take place at the code level. And then, you know, I've still seen here and there people using evaluate function all over the place in these legacy apps. So there's certain things that, you know, will take down that server and really make a big difference to your end users, whether it be internal customers or external customers. And then a 1-second page load delay can result in a 7% reduction in conversions. Now that obviously is geared toward external applications, but when you think about conversions being your own internal users too, that reflects on them as well, right? They don't want to go back to that application if it's performing poorly. So perception may not be a reality, but it totally matters, right? So when you talk about the high page times, it really speaks to the poor application itself, and it might not even be a poor application. Maybe it's like I said, maybe it's a third-party call, or just a piece of code that's taking down the whole entire environment. You're losing user engagement with those applications. Nobody wants to use it if you're not giving them that immediate gratification, because we all want that now. And then the loyalty that you're gathering with a high-performing application that gives people the results they want when they need it is going to be noticeably improved with a higher-performing application. So like I said, we built this tool from the ground up. We built it for different roles in mind. And we built it for high performance and high scalability. So if you think about an environment that stands to monitor not only just a single instance of Cold Fusion, but an entire cluster of Cold Fusion servers. Many of our customers have maybe 50 instances of Cold Fusion in one environment that they're monitoring. So we built this to be a high scalable environment, or it can be for a single environment just monitoring one Cold Fusion server. And this is with minimal latency, minimal impact to the environment, and minimal delay. So the way that we do that is that we're building this out of process. So when you do the install, it's going to be outside of the Cold Fusion instances that you're monitoring. Typically, we would recommend it to be installed on a separate server, of course, but you can have it on the same server. I wouldn't recommend that way in a production environment, obviously, because you really do want to gather those statistics outside of the ecosystem in which you're monitoring. And then you have higher visibility to the insights and metrics and the detailed data that you need. The server monitor that we had previously, it really only hit the highest level of what you needed. It gave you like the heap size, and it gave you, how many threads are running, and some of that high-level data. But when you wanted more information, like where in the heap is the problem, you couldn't gather that information unless you did a physical thread dump or a physical memory dump, or you did some verbose GC collection on the server, so you can gather those statistics. This one is built to give you that high detailed drill down data right away. And I don't know if all of you were in the keynote, but you did mention that everything is within a few clicks. So we're going to give you that information fast and when you need it. The other thing we're taking a look at is a holistic view of the architecture, right? So we're not just looking at what we have the visibility of on the server. We're looking at the entire server architecture. So anything that we have visibility over, like within the network, which is, of course, your database calls, any third-party calls that go outside of Cold Fusion, we're monitoring those. We have high visibility and additional features within the connector piece as well. So we're monitoring everything that we have visibility over for a simplified, holistic view of that architecture in this environment. So, like I said, system administrators are going to have different goals in mind. How many of you are system administrators here? Okay. So you really don't want a tool at all, right? Unless you need it. You just want this tool to be there when the servers are running well and not even be visible or noticeable. But when the servers are not performing well, you want to be the first to know about that server problem, right? And you want to get your information when you want to have it at that moment. And perhaps also look back in history if something correlates to the environment that, the issue that might have just happened. You have different goals in mind than the IT managers, for example. Your IT managers are looking at possibly application specific. So we have customizable screens that allow that IT manager to actually only set alerts for certain applications. So a lot of our customers might have a separate IT manager for 5 of the applications, and then another IT manager that just has visibility or wants to manage another set of 2 or 3 applications. You have that ability here to customize your visibility when you need that information to only get alerts based on your application level. Or at the sysadmin level, you can get the entire application server. So we narrow the scope down for you there. And then, of course, developers, we do expect you to use this tool as you have time to really spend some time updating your existing applications. We built in a detailed profiling tool that allows you to not only gather statistics on a line-by-line basis, but you can import them into Builder, and then go in there and click on the line number that you see is having the most, is taking the most time, for example, and jump to the line code. And I'll show you that here today. So for sysadmins, of course, you get a quick visibility of the server health initially. If you're logging into this system, the first thing you likely want to see is an environment of what do I have going on in my system. So you'll have detailed metrics if you want to drill down further, but perhaps you just want to check on the systems and see if there are any problems. You'll get a nice color-coded view of your entire architecture, along with average response time and throughput values. And then, of course, these are all drillable and click through as well. The other thing that is really unique about this system is that it automatically discovers the topology of your server. So you have you automatically get any of the other servers that you tie to this performance monitoring tool. It will discover how many instances you have and which IIS servers or Apache servers are also attached to that. So we get an entire visibility of your architecture, and it pops up in the system with this view. So immediately, the other thing that we've added is the color coding capability. So again, as you look through, it's not only just for the setup, but as you come back to this tool, you can immediately see which instances are red or yellow or color-coded to be healthy or unhealthy. And of course, you as a system administrator, you get to choose what is unhealthy in your environment. So, and that's also specifically customizable to an application basis. So let's say, for example, that I have a PDF generation app. That might take a lot more time, right, than my e-commerce application. So I want to monitor those differently. An unhealthy PDF generation environment that's just churning out PDFs all day might take a lot longer to load on the page times. So I would put statistics in there to monitor at that level instead of the e-commerce application level. And that, again, that is unique to this system itself. But for the administrators, you want the granular level details as well, so that you can pass that off to either the IT manager or the development person that is going to take care of it and fix the problem for you. So you're going to get all of these statistics and values when you click down and drill down into the environment itself. There's also a fully blue notification system to give you full alerts based on all of these statistics that you're seeing today, or that I'm going to show you. So I'll go through and show you all of those alerts that you can set up. But the alerting system from the previous monitor is nothing compared to what we have here. We have alerts for very detailed statistics. And the other cool thing is it's not just email alerts. How many of you are using Slack for your development communication channels internally? So Slack is getting picked up as a communication channel for different groups here and there throughout organizations quite a lot. So you also have the option to throw a message into a Slack channel as well with this tool. So it's not only just the easy setup and configuration and everything within a few clicks and the drill down concept, but we want to give you a tool that is built for you and with you in mind. And again, like Chirag had mentioned in the keynote, our team is readily available. We love to hear feedback, good or bad. Tell us how we can make this better or fit better to your needs and your environment. If there's something you need in this tool, just let us know, and we'll see what we can do. If it makes sense for a lot of other customers and they're doing things the same way, we want to put that into the product too, make it fit better. So on the IT management side, you really, as an IT manager, would probably want to see less, right? You want to have a detailed view of possibly going back in history and seeing the archiving. So we have an archiving feature built in. This is totally new to this tool set, so you wouldn't have seen it in the last one. But I remember being in support. I actually spent quite a number of years in the support teams, and it was just a nightmare because when you get an intermittent issue, there's no way that you're going to capture that, unicorn in the middle of a morning, Monday morning in production time. There's just no way. In order to just set up the environment to gather the thread gum and the garbage collection, it would take me 2 days to sit with a team of people that had the rights to actually make changes in their production environment to gather that data. All of these statistics are going to be accessible to you historically. So you choose when you get to go back in time. If you want to go back a year ago and you've got the room to store that, by all means, just put it in for a year of metrics or how much. It's actually the size of the content you want to store. But I can now go back to Friday night and find out what the heck happened while I was at happy hour, right? And the server went down for some reason. I got an alert on my phone. I can gather those details as an IT manager now and pass them off to the support team and say, hey, tell me what happened here. I don't understand, or go through the thread dumps, or go through this data that I have. You're also going to want to go through and gather all of that. Maybe you're going to press for GC, the garbage collection. You can push a garbage collection within this utility. Again, like I said, you can get your detailed thread dumps and statistics as well. The other thing is the JVM metrics. Now, I said that they're a lot more detailed. So how many of you have seen that sometimes it's not a problem at the memory level with the JVM heap? It's something within the other pieces of that actual heap space. So maybe it's the permgen space, or maybe it's some other statistic within the JVM metrics that is going down and that is running out of memory. And you need to understand that you can't just increase the heap forever, right? You have to sometimes just increase, the perm size statistic, or find out what's taking some of the memory in Eden space, for example, or some other location. So, without further ado, I'm just going to go ahead and start showing you this environment. I want to, if you have a question, just feel free to raise your hand, shout it out, and we can probably go through that right there. Does anybody have any questions right now? We haven't gotten through that. Sorry. Okay.
Is this tool going to be available in 2016 or is it only in 2018?
Okay, so the question is about whether this tool is available in ColdFusion 2016 or 2018. This is a new tool that we built for 2018 only. It is also available in Enterprise and Standard though. So this is something that you get with all of the licenses, license editions of ColdFusion. And yeah, I know there were a couple of you that had already asked for that before the data was released. You have a question?
If you have this installed, do you need a separate license for a separate server to run this on?
No, so the question was, do you need a separate license to run this on a separate server? No. The way the licensing is set up is it's bundled with the ColdFusion release, so if you own ColdFusion licenses already, you're all set to go. You can even cluster this. Like I said, it's scalable, so let me just really quickly go over that. Not only is the Performance Monitoring Toolset clusterable, both vertically and horizontally, you can actually offload the data store, of course, and the search engine so that you can put those on a separate server, and that can be distributed. So this is built, if you need to monitor a high availability ColdFusion environment, this is built to do that as well.
One other question, will it work with distributed mode?
Will it work with what?
Distributed mode?
Yes. So the question was, will it work with distributed mode in ColdFusion? So many of you might have a very scaled out environment where you have your web server on the front end, potentially a firewall in between that, and then you've got ColdFusion on a separate machine, and then probably another firewall. These firewalls and load balancers involved as well. So that's distributed mode for ColdFusion when you don't have the web server and the ColdFusion server on the same machine. This will absolutely work with distributed mode for ColdFusion. Yep.
Does it play well with the JBoss operations network?
Does it play well with JBoss operations network? I have to take that afterwards. I'm not sure, but I will look at the team here. Just come see me after the session, and we'll chat in the hallway. So I just logged into the system. Let me just give you the most recent metrics here. I'm going to change to the last 30 minutes or so. 10 minutes, and let's see what we have open. Not 10 minutes. Okay, so what this is going to give you, this is the visibility of the full environment.
No, we don't see your screen.
Oh, what's happening? Let me just extend the screen. I'm sorry. I think what happened was when I changed the display settings, it was in. Let's see. I will duplicate these displays. Is that working for us?
Yes.
Perfect. Sorry. No. Oh. There we go. Now we're going to see it. Ta-da! So this is what you see when you log into the system. You get a high visibility, or higher visibility of the whole architecture, right? Immediately I can tell what's happening on the server. So for example, I can see my average response time has gone And this is all hoverable here. So immediately when I hover over, I can see where the problem is happening. It looks like I have a lot of time being spent on that pink line there, the red line, and that's my external services piece, okay? So immediately you get to see where the problem is happening at a very high level, right? And that's the details you want initially. Where do I need to start looking? And then on the right-hand side, you'll see I have a health overview. This is obviously determined by your own statistics and your own applications, but you get to choose that it says this server is healthy or unhealthy based on these statistics that you gather. And I've got 2 nodes here in the system. These will be labeled or colored red, green, or yellow, depending on what the health is of those nodes as well. And again, these are all click through, so I can click through each of these if I want. On the left here, I have the connector overview. So this is going to give me the websites that I have configured within these instances that I'm monitoring. Okay? So let's say I had a problem, I can immediately go back and say, what's happening in this environment at this point in time? Immediately you saw that I got a pop-up there, right? So I can get a full list of all the detailed pages, the slowest running pages that are on that server, and what's happening within each of those. And I can see the average response time. Actually, let me just go ahead and zoom, because you guys probably can't see. I can see. Is that better for you?
Yeah.
So you get a listing of the pages. Again, up at the top here, you have the graph of what color coding is done. And for those of you that can't read that print, it's the connector, server, database, and external services. So those are all color-coded statistically, based on how much time they're taking. At the bottom, I have my pages, and there are those times that are happening. So if I go to the right here, I can see my ART is really high with this one. And it's in this application, CFHTTP app. So I wonder what's in there. I'm going to click on that, and again, I drill down again, and immediately I see the top slow URLs and which pages those are, where they're actually located on the URL. Again, I can drill down even further. Now, this is the detailed page that you get when you see when you drill down. You can see that was like 3 clicks that I got to this page. So I can see all of the detailed statistics, and I'm zoomed in here, so I'll zoom out in a second, but just to give you a visibility of everything. On the top here, I can immediately tell, just by the color-coded bar, that the green external services is where my problem is at, or there's a bottleneck, or there's more time being spent there, okay? So if I click on the external services, again, I get the CFHTTP tab. Average time is taken is 56, and the hit count is 1. So that's obviously for demo purposes. But again, I get the actual tag that's being used on that page that told me where the problem was. And if I want to drill down even further, I can actually turn on profile. Now, for those of you that remember the server monitor, what was the biggest problem with profiling? You ever turn it on? So if you turn on profiling, because it lived in the same JVM instance, everybody was fighting for all of that the time and the resources on within that JVM. So immediately I would always tell people, as a matter of fact, I would get support calls from people asking why their server kept going down. And for some reason, somebody had enabled profiling, the memory profiling, which takes a lot of resources, and left it on in the system. So this profiling, the great thing about this one is that you can actually go to a specific page and profile that page or that application. So we give you different levels that you can profile. And that's huge for those of you that ever want to profile anything, especially developers. Because you certainly don't want, and the IT managers don't want you to go in there and turn on profiling for the entire server and start chugging along. Because obviously, you still have memory profiling, even if we're out of process, it's going to take a little bit of extra statistics and resources, right? So you get that granular level profiling detail that you can gather simply on the page or the application that you're interested in. And you turn that on here. So I'll show you that in a second. But let me zoom back out. Oops. Turn off this zoom tool. There we go. So this is the view that you would get. So let's go back. Let me show you the topology. So remember, we're auto-discovering this environment for you. You're not putting all your instances in and adding them one by one. We're going to just auto-discover it. There is a method to allow you to go ahead and revert back and purge the environment that you've already had in there if you want to take an environment out of here and not monitor it. But certainly you get an overview of and statistics of topology. This is unique to this tool. There are no other tools that do this for you because we have access to everything. We can have access to visibly detect all of the connector level detail. So I can see here, and let me zoom in again just to give you that visibility. I have my connector right here in the front. That's going to 2 instances of Cold Fusion, and it gives me which instances they are, what IP address and what ports they're on. And then if I go over to the right, on the top I've got my databases as well as any external services call. So let's say you have APIs and things like that you call regularly. Those would show up here as well. You get a nice overview of your environment very quickly. And again, this is all drilled down as well. Go ahead, you have a question here?
Yeah, so will it auto-discover servers that are in the cloud also?
Yeah, so the question is about servers in the cloud. This tool was built for all of the architectures that we've seen with Cold Fusion. Well, not all of them. I've seen some pretty crazy stuff. But any AWS instances, any Azure instances that you have, this will detect those as well. Now remember that you do have to give permission on both sides for access to take place, but that will detect those instances as well. So you might have a hybrid environment too, like some servers behind your own firewall, and then some in the cloud. You can monitor all of those with this tool. So again, I'm going to just back out just because this is looking weird to me. If I click in, I can, of course, get the instance level view. Let me see how I'm doing on time here. What time is the session end? 11:30. Okay. So I've got about 15 minutes. I'm doing okay. I just want to show you a few more things, and then I did want to show you really quickly the builder because I think that's cool. How many of you are developers here that actually write the CF code? Okay, wow, okay, I'm gonna close this up pretty soon. The instances are viewable separately, or you can view at the cluster level, so all of that is separate. And then you have, again, the metrics that are drillable and then color-coded immediately. This also gives you all of the JVM metrics for that instance, for example. So you can see here that we are monitoring quite a lot within the heap. We would give you graphs for quite a lot of different areas within the heap, and garbage collection as well. So you'll see garbage collection statistics and all of that. So this is you can see where I scrolled down. It's a ton of data that you have at your fingertips, simply just for the JVM metrics alone. Now you can see at the top, I immediately actually have, you can't see at the top, I have a thread dump, a heap dump, and a GC right here. So if I needed to throw a thread dump and hand it off to the Cold Fusion team, I can do that right here. I can also put out a heap dump for us, or just push GC to the system as well on this instance. So you get that within the instance level detail, obviously not at the higher level detail. Database really quickly. We get everything within the database, and again, this is the same level detail you'll get with the other pages. So if I drill down in, I can see the top running, slow running queries and how much time it's taken, and get the details within that queries as well. So how many invocations it had, any references that were done as well as a part of that query. And you're not just getting the query, you're going to get the actual query statement. So what statement was made there as well. So it's nice. And it gives you all of the database statistics. There's another section for external services. Again, this is monitoring everything. So if you have CF LDAP calls, or CF Pop, CF File, CF Invoke, all of those are going to be in here on their separate tabs as well. This one's CF Mail. I think I have a CFM vote call here, so I get all of the statistics for CFM vote. So you can see how huge the data is behind all of the top level hierarchy here, right? I'll quickly go to metrics, the settings, just to show you the alerts that are available. So when you configure it as a system administrator, you can give it, like I said, at the server level, you can give it a health score. And you decide what ART is important to you. You decide how many errors, what type of, or how many errors and how much weightage you want to put involved in the gathering of the health scores. So you have a lot of different choices there. But you can see here, if I click on applications, and this is for you developers as well, because many of you developers I know are separated into groups where you actually have maintenance control over a subset of applications. So you want to have this section set up for the statistics on the server the way you want to see it. And those will be separated out by application level itself. On the alerting side, you have a ton of options here. For all of the JVM statistics that we get, like CPU usage on a JVM level, old gen, metaspace, code cache usage, all of those are separate alerts that are built into this system. You also have, of course, the standard ones like slow servers and timeouts and whatnot, right? So you have the ability to set all of these up. And again, if I wanted to post these to Slack, I just simply, this is a setting in the administrator where you set up the Slack channel that you want to post on, and then you click this checkbox when you want the alert sent out. So all of that is there for you. I'm going to quickly run back into my deck so that I have enough time to show you the CF Builder. One thing I did want to mention though is I do realize that this session got cut short, a bit short. So I would be happy to, for every one of you, I would be happy to set time out in the schedule and set up a separate meeting if you wanted to take this back to your team and really go through a very slow overview of how exactly that system might work and how you might be setting it up in your environment, or if you need help setting it up, I'm offering that to everybody here. Okay, so I'm going to continue here, and I think I just have one more slide, and then I'll do the CF Builder, and then we'll close it out. So I should be taking no longer than 5 more minutes past the hour. Okay, so the key reasons for using this performance tool, and I kind of touched on these a little bit earlier. This tool is built by Adobe for Adobe, okay? So these engineers that you see on the sideline here, they're the same engineers that work on the runtime engine. They work on the API management piece, all of the REST-based layers and everything. So we have the hooks into the system that nobody else has. And we know how the system operates and how it responds internally. Most of our team members, I think, have been with the team well over as long as I have, which is I've been here for, I would say, the five years that we've been making a lot of money here. so I'm going to tell Treviv on this review. That might have something to do with me. But remember that Adobe has the information and the hooks into the backend environments. We know how our customers are using the tool, and this is built for specifically Cold Fusion applications. The other thing that I wanted to say on this slide that I missed is that, again, we're looking at the entire architecture in the holistic view. So it's not just building it for just the Cold Fusion piece. We tried to really take a lot of time, and we had a lot of discussions and surveys that went out regarding how you might use that utility and what statistics are important for you for performance and what are you reporting up to management with those performance metrics. Okay, so again, I'm going to skip through this one really quick, but I do want to mention these are the key differentiators in our product. We have, and I actually didn't even show this. I meant to show the auto connector tuning. I'm going to go in and do that right now. That is a key differentiator in this product. What we're doing, and this is the first time we're doing this ever, and I believe we're going to be doing this more in the places that we can, is the idea of a self-healing environment. Something that you don't have to play around with. So when I mentioned on Friday, if you're at happy hour, the last thing that you want to get is that alert that your server's going down, right? This auto connector tuning will handle that for you. If you have an event that actually spikes the number of requests. So what we'll do is we'll automatically tune that connector and we'll change the settings in the connector settings to automatically account for that load. So it's an awesome piece of this tool, and I'm going to take a few minutes to show you that because I think it's important to know about it. And then, of course, the auto discovery of the topology. We're doing that automatically for you, and for those of you that have multiple instances, that's a real time saver, but also the idea that you can visibly see the topology of your environment is pretty important. And then the profiling for application developers, which I will get into right now. Do you guys have any questions so far? So right now I'm going to show you the profiling with Builder and the auto connector tuning.
Is there an easy way after you set up, you set different pages and stuff to profile, to easily get a report of what's still set or to easily clear all those out?
So you said reset or clear the instances out of the environment that you're monitoring?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, let me show you. There's actually an area that you can go to that purges different pieces of that environment out. So I can quickly show you that first. That's actually here, so I'm on the right screen. So you do have the ability to go through, and there you see my Cold Fusion instances here, and I have the ability to purge those out. Okay. So when I go into the section on profiling, I'll show you the builder piece first. Actually, let me take that back and go into the connector, because I think it's important to at least show you on the instances. I believe, I don't know which one it is here, so what we're doing is we will take the statistics that you put into the system on what the threshold you want. So let's say you want at an 80% threshold, not only to be alerted of the fact that you've reached that threshold, but you want it to automatically tune the connector to allow for additional requests. And you get to put in how many requests you're going to accept.
Initially you select 1 hour. I think you see that.
I'm sorry?
1 hour. 1 hour.
I can hear you. Oh, 1 hour.
1 hour.
Okay, sorry, yeah. So I know it's, some of the statistics are not in the system. We would have run it an hour ago. And then we were late too, so apologize for that. Okay, so I reset this to visibly view, to just have a visibility of the last hour of the metrics. And I believe that's when the connector tuning was run. So I'm going to go back in to my instance. And you'll see, let me just go ahead and zoom in again here so you have a better visibility. This is the chart here that you would get where that connector tuning happened. So what you see here, and you probably can't see the detail level, there's an icon with a little lightning bolt on it. That means that we actually tuned the connector for that piece of during that time frame. So when I click on that, again, this is all part of the drill down metrics that are available to you. When I click on that, I automatically get to see that the busy connections were 169. My old pool size was 60. So it automatically increased the pool size to 211 for me. So again, at happy hour, you just got an alert that happened. You didn't have to do anything. So we're getting into an environment of self-healing nowadays, and we're going to try to do as much as possible to allow the server to recognize the fact that it's having a problem and auto-tune itself. So again, you get to go back historically and view this data. But I did want to show you that because it's a really cool ability that we never had before in any of the tools that are available. So let me go back, and I'm going to go to the profiling now. This is the profiling area. Now remember, you can get the statistics just for the CFM file that happens, or you can get it for an application level or a server level. You can get the profiling done at any level that you really need visibility over. Well, I've already actually run profiling on this machine. Again, I'll zoom in because I feel like this is very small here. So the instance is here, the server instance, and what you can do is either view the profile data here, and I get those metrics, and I can start clicking down here, and these are all drillable metrics. But what you'll see is when we go back to the detailed page level load of statistics, you'll actually have additional details on the code flow populated for you. So all of that data will be in here on how much time was spent on each page. So if I take that data and I download it, I can pull it into Builder, and you see I have a project here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more here. I think that's okay. So you pull it into your server project here, and what I did was basically there's two things you have to do. You right-click on the project itself within Builder, and you have to first import it. So you import the actual data, and you choose Import Code Profiler Data here. And then, of course, I just find my file. Wherever I downloaded it, I have to select that file. Of course, I've gone ahead and downloaded it into and imported it into here already. So I have mine right here. Once I have that done, all I have to do is right-click again and go to Performance Monitoring Toolset Profiler. So then I go run Performance Monitoring Toolset Profiler, and then I have a lot more statistics, and I have all of that detailed view. Remember from the code flow that we had just a second ago? I have that view from within the system itself, within Builder. So now as a developer, I'm going to minimize this. Oops. I have to go back out because I can't see all of everything where it went. Where did it go? I didn't remember how to do it. There it is. So now that I have that there, all I have to do as a developer is double click on that CFC page. So I can see that document manipulation CFC took a long time. This is the time taken. And the function name was generate PDF. So again, I actually double clicked on that, and you saw it populated the PDF or the CFC file and actually line jumped into the generate the HTML to PDF that was generating the PDF itself. So CF HTML to PDF, that was using usage or creating usage sample usage example PDF, which is actually just a PDF that we had created on the fly. So it was just a little PDF that was getting generated on the fly. But the point is that for the first time, developers actually have the opportunity to profile their own applications and then import that data, debug it, and jump to the line number that you need to be at to just fix that problem really quickly. So hopefully that'll speed up any times where you can impact or create a nice performance gain on your applications.
Can we still see the same data inside the profiling tool without CF Builder?
Yes, so the question is, can I still see this data from within the profiling, the performance monitoring tool, not using Cohesion Builder? Yes, absolutely. So all of the code flow statistics are there for you, and you get the details of which CFC it was in, and what type of call it was. The only thing that you would not get is the line jump to, right? So that would be at a developer level that you would want to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to the presentation and wrap this up for you, and hopefully I didn't take too much of your time. I think I'm running 5 minutes. Does anybody have any other questions for me right now? I'll be in the hallway too, in case you need to talk. But basically, what I wanted to do is also mention that if you like this information and you want to see more of it, you can actually go to tomorrow's sessions. We have 2 sessions tomorrow, 10:15 to 11:15 on Cohesion Builder that we'll review this with. And then also a detailed developer's point of view for how you might use this tool to your advantage and actually how to troubleshoot the statistics that are coming out of the thread dumps, the and the heap dumps that you can generate from within this and the profile. So thank you very much for your time. I hope you have a great conference.